crazy socialist journey, but that's literally my life. And you're telling me that I don't think this could actually happen? Like, what the fuck is that statement?
I think that you're not concerned of Econoboi becoming one of these figures, are you? Or I mean, like,
are you kidding me? Anyone can, right? Because remember, at the peak of their relationship, Vosh, and we thought that Vosh and Destiny were going to be inseparable. We thought that Destiny and Hassan were going to be inseparable at the peak of their relationship. Do you guys remember this? I can't be the only one who remembers this. Like, we thought that they were going to be like the strongest fucking allies. They'll never betray Destiny. They'll never be blah, 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 right? I feel like at the time we were so fucking optimistic. But now what, right? Like, fuck. Like, in hindsight, it's like, fuck, we shouldn't have trusted these people. These people are crazy.
Like, I don't know if he in particular would.
Do you guys remember when Hassan was like there and Destiny was like good enough of a friend to like visit him, and then Destiny was like playing with Hassan's dog at the time? Do you guys remember that? Like, that's how close they were.
I'm just saying that that's the entry point, and that's how all these motherfuckers work, and they say it openly. They openly say it.
Oh, I mean,
listen, I don't think. Hold on, I'm not saying that you should take Econoboi off the show, or you should never do content with the Vanguard or anything like that. I'm just saying that, like, it's so fucking sad. Like, Hutch is one of the only fucking people I see now in the world who's not like, yeah, I'm a Democrat, but like, oh yeah, it's a massive fucking genocide, and the Dems fucking suck shit, and I wish that Biden wouldn't have been fucking senile, it wouldn't have fucking pardoned his fucking son, and I mean, like, I just want there to be like,
but
somewhere in the fucking world,
he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have.
I don't. That's fine. But I need like one fucking other liberal on the fucking planet, on this platform, anywhere that's not just constantly bending over to.
And by the way, this is what's so sad about Pisco, right? Like, Pisco is just like such a sad story. He just is. It's just
take it up the ass, from every single other fucking political partisan, just somebody that can actually just stand on business for like liberal politics.
Well, you have Hunter Biden. You have Hunter Biden.
So
if you're,
if you want to do content with like the Vanguard or other people, that's fine. But you can't be surprised when there's a huge fucking eye roll in his eye. It's like, oh, it's these guys who are making the fucking ass rape jokes about fucking Buttigieg. Like, one of the liberals out there doing more like podcast work than anybody else. Okay,
you can't talk about jokes, dude. I know you ain't fucking talking about jokes. I know that your ass ain't talking about jokes. I know that you're not saying, oh, fucking roll eyes because they made bad jokes and jokes that people disagree with. I know that it can't be you.
Bad jokes? Wait. What do you mean when I say make bad jokes?
Jokes that people find that are fucking marginal in terms of whether or not, they're in good taste, whether or not they're,
you think
one
that
of
my
the isms?
issue with jokes about Pete Buttigieg is that they're in bad taste?
Yeah, what is your critique about that?
Destiny has probably made more gay jokes than anyone else in this entire space. Every single time Destiny says like, oh, you're guzzling buckets of cum or whatever. The problem was never the fact that it's in bad faith. The problem is that they are said vindictively in such a way to hinder the Democrats' means of success. Does that make sense? Like, you're not just throwing it around because you're laughing with them. You're throwing it around because you're laughing at them. One, you're sharing an internal joke with gay people because you guys both think it's funny. The other is you're vindictively spiting them by making that joke. Both have the same wording, but they don't have the same tone. Yes? I just realized like this looks like okay, whatever. Sorry.
You want to make jokes about people getting fucked in the ass? Make them about Lindsey Graham, not about Pete Buttigieg.
So now so now you care about. Oh wait, so it's not the heteronormative. So because I was in tongue in cheek saying heteronormative, and it was like, oh my god, soy Pisco.
It's about who's being attacked. I say jokes about the gay shit, it's not the fact that it's gay shit. It's the fact that it's about our candidates. I mean, you generally probably should make homophobic or whatever, but it's about the fact that it's more about the fact they're attacking our candidates.
Okay, definitely shouldn't. Listen.
Okay,
but
they don't like Pete Buttigieg. Guess what? If I fucking hate Fetterman. Would you say like if I'm pressing about Fetterman that like I'm bad faith, I'm just attacking our candidates? I know you see people differently than Fetterman, but that's just because that's your view.
Fetterman's not fair. Okay, fuck Fetterman. Okay, but Pete Buttigieg, I feel like, is somebody that we should be like. I feel like every liberal should largely be like in decently large agreement with Pete Buttigieg. Should largely be supportive of the fact that he's one of the only Dems that seems to be brave enough to be running around on doing the podcast.
Oh yeah, I see a Podium Baby who is a Quinman Watcher, spicy chat person in Pisco's chat.
You like him, but if you hated him like fucking Fetterman, you'd be making brain dead jokes, and you wouldn't give a fuck because you think.
Yeah, and if I had fucking. If I had a fucking oven in my stomach, you could bake bread in my tummy. What the fuck do you mean? The whole point is, who do you support? I support Pete Buttigieg because he's a liberal Democrat. Yeah, no shit. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
I also see Silver King. You see, I see that we're also infiltrating Pisco's chat. Silver King right there.
But they hate Pete Buttigieg because they feed
He's a
him.
liberal Democrat. Yes, that's my point. Sorry, I'm sorry. Hold on.
It's fucking insane, and like, yeah, you have they're far left, more to the left, and they have strong critiques for centrists, but
They hate centrists. They hate Democrats.
But Fetterman is also the candidate. Fetterman is a Democratic candidate. Fetterman is a Democratic incumbent.
In general, I would support Fetterman.
I would. Wait. I would too. But that guy is in my metaphoric bullseye. I don't want to be fucking global entry canceled. He's in my bullseye, and I'm going to talk shit about Fetterman and talk about the Lake and Riley Act. I'm going to be talking about all his like embarrassing moments and being incredibly brutal through the primary, because that's what the primary process is about. Like, if there's some cringe candidate that I perceive as cringe, I'm going to talk shit.
Any of this. But you're not wanting, you don't hate Fetterman because he's a liberal and you want to replace him with a socialist. You think he's a shitty Democrat. They hate Pete Buttigieg because Pete Buttigieg represents a lot of things.
Have you asked them? I don't know. But they support Tim Walz. They think Tim Walz.
I think a lot of this is also do you guys saw and remember how like right now the left is like the leftists are very much against the abundance crowd, the abundance agenda by Ezra Klein. Okay, so Ezra Klein is another person who actually fights for liberalism. Okay, I know that he's at Hutch, but Ezra Klein is another person who makes a very clear distinction between leftism and liberalism. And I think that, like, again, the leftists are basically attacking Ezra Klein, even though what he's proposing is objectively good, right? So yeah, that's another great example of like, oh, you know, we are opposed to the core of liberalism, and we're just like being bad faith, right? Like, yeah.
This is based. That's not a socialist.
Tim Walz is like on the borderline for them.
They like Tim Walz. They like fucking AOC, even though they have the one disagreement there.
Pause.
About the whatever funding. But guess what? AOC made that vote before. AOC did that vote years ago. And guess what? They still like her. They'll still vote for her. That's what when you were fucking soying out, I couldn't believe it, right? Like when we were making the empirical point that, yeah, this one thing that AOC said, it's not going to really change the lefties' disposition to them over the long run. We were making an empirical point that nothing ever happens. That was just another example of us sweeping and saying it doesn't matter, totally misconstruing it. But the reality is these people, they'll critique fucking their family member if they're running for election. They're purists to the core, but at the end of the day,
to be clear, they absolutely will not critique their socialist candidates. Absolutely fucking not. No way in hell. They love their socialist candidates. They just did it.
AOC, I thought that your whole point was that she was not...
They don't consider... Dog, I know that you don't believe me when I say this, okay? Fucking talk to fucking whoever in your life does socialism. Socialists do not consider AOC a socialist, okay? Nobody that is like on theory and all these people, they will not consider AOC
You think they consider Tim Walz socialist? And they like Tim Walz?
Not. No.
Yeah, and they like Tim Walz.
Maybe.
And they like Tim Walz.
I don't know what their position is on Walz.
I don't know why Pisco says they don't.
Walz.
I don't know why he's saying this.
If you want to, do what you want to do. I mean, like, obviously you can do what you want to do, but it's just like it's just another episode. It's another liberal podcast. It's not like, oh, let's go talk to the guys that fucking hate our party just as much as they hate the fucking Republicans, and let's see how we can talk to them in a friendly manner.
With Josiah steering the ship, he will never, ever let it be said on that and let people forget that the Democrat is preferable to the Republican. That is his like mantra. Like, do you really not have faith in Josiah to make that point clear, that clear distinction between the Democrat and Republican? You really think?
No, I don't trust Josiah. What the fuck? I've seen how he contributed and enabled the fucking dogpile on Hutch. Are you kidding me? Like you're expecting me to trust Josiah after that shit? Fuck that shit.
That like I trust Josiah with that. Josiah would never let me like we this entire podcast is premised on the notion that we would be the kind. Now I know Econoboi came out. That's his truth. He wants to be a socialist. That's power to him. I believe he's still a liberal. I think it's compatible on his.
Like I'm sorry. I know that Destiny like has faith in Josiah or something like that. I don't have faith in Josiah. Dude. Josiah just came off as like very like he came off as like very Weasley when it came to like deciding which side to pick. Hutch, to be fair, blah 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 blah. Nah.
Vision of what
shit.
socialism means. I do think it's compatible. I don't think there's a contradiction. But our entire thing was, why don't we get a podcast of people who actually like the Democrats more than Republicans and actually talk them up? That was our whole mantra. And we're like expanding and trying to talk to people and see our point of view. I'm trying to get them to be more based about constitutionalism, liberalism. I'm trying to give them the rundown on law stuff. I'm trying to, but your audience is
Pisco.
Trying to fuck me over, trying to say that like I'm like a shitty person, that I'm cooked, and it's making it impossible. And I think that you want that to happen. That's my like intuition, is that you like that. You like to see, I don't know, sticking the knife in us and watching the fucking chaos. That's my intuition. You tell me it's wrong.
Have you seen any of my coverage of any of you guys prior to this engagement?
It was positive. It was positive before my take on the Hassan global entry thing and before what I said about the Ethan Klein lawsuit, which I want to remind the audience, you agreed with me, except for my focus on the Ethan Klein lawsuit. Didn't seem to matter. The fact that we fundamentally agreed that the lawsuit was strong, that it was the filing was fucking unhinged.
Okay, wait. So you just said that you feel like I'm doing this out of spite, and then I asked you what happened, and then you just gave me two concrete examples.
I don't know.
A reasonable mind could say, maybe you dramatically disagreed, but it's not like I went off for months and months on these particular things. These are things that I disagree with. But I don't think I developed spite 2 weeks ago. And
Why did you block me? Why did you block me?
because of the. I don't know how much you want to jump it all up, but the fact that Aaron is just fucking somehow like crept back at everything, that's just wild to me. But I just fucking, for my own brain and my own sanity, I was like, okay, whatever. You know what? People can do their own shit, and I'll just be over here doing my own shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, final prescriptions. I mean, it's fucking late. So, what is the ethical? Let's grant your semantics on socialism. Let's grant everything, and let's just say what do you think is ethical for us to do?
This is what I would want to see at the end of the day, okay? If you think that you can cast a net that will encompass some socialists because you're pushing some aspects of liberalism so hard, I think that's fine, okay? What I would want to see at the end of the day, ideally, is these guys going back to their chats and their chats screaming at them, being like, why the fuck didn't you guys like push harder for how shitty the Dems are? Why didn't you guys push harder? And I get them to admit that like the Dems are the same as the fucking Republicans. That's what I want to see in their chats. Not after they leave your chat, like shitting on like only the liberals left on the podcast be like, oh, like why?
Dude, listen. Fuck the great betrayer, okay? It's the great betrayer. You don't give room to the great betrayer. Okay, the great betrayer will betray you.
Why is this guy such a fucking loser? Like,
my community, my community was mostly DGGers. My community, or there's so much overlap. You want to know, like, I don't think it was
Discord, that way before the initial. When you guys did the initial living, I didn't watch it. I watched the VOD of that when Hutch was the one who had problems. Who I guess you're saying he had problems for no good reason. I guess was the issue, or
I think that he had problems with the optics, like a lot of other people did. And I can understand why some people that he might feel that way. I don't think that it's based in some. I think it's based in kind of like how it felt, but I don't think it's based on an objective like look at what occurred. If that's my take on it, and I think that I wasn't trying to gaslight him. I fucking like Hutch a lot. Hutch is my boy. I'm not trying to betray Hutch. I would never try to throw him under the bus. Like it's just not that way. Like offline, we have a very amicable relationship. So yeah, it wasn't that at all. And my community is highly critical. Unlike you, I don't fucking delete all the criticism of me in my own Discord and even in my own fucking Reddit. Now that.
Wait, okay, Pisco, it's because you don't have a large enough audience to see that. Okay, if once you can't foster a fucking anti-fan community in your own Discord. It's unhinged. Like the thing is that I can tolerate a lot. Like I can actually tolerate a lot in my own Discord server. But the reality is that like I know that at some point, if enough like anti-fans enter my Discord server, it's not going to be a fan server anymore. It's not, right? This is why I only have one winter meal around. This is why I only have one fire around. This is why I only have one X and Y around, right? Is because I know that if I let too many of these people in, you know, they're just going to make an alternate community that is the community that I don't want, right? Like, fuck, you can go and anti-fan somewhere else. You don't have to anti-fan in my specific like fucking community, right? I think the same concept applies here, Pisco. It just seems like you just don't know how to raise a community, and which is fine. I mean, you're susceptible to flattery, so whatever.
I have a Reddit. Like, so I don't delete that shit. People.
And by the way, this is like something that Mr. Girl also talked about as well, right? Does did you guys notice how when it came to Mr. Girl, like he completely fucked up? Because Mr. Girl like made his own subreddit, and guess what? His subreddit became an anti-fan Mr. Girl place, right? Like, everyone in Mr. Girl's subreddit just began to anti-fan Mr. Girl. That's what happens. That's what happens. You're giving them a space to anti-fan, so there you go. That's what happens.
Talk mad fucking shit. And so it's just not the case that, like, my community is becoming...
I don't even understand what...
What?
Never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, my community is not becoming ML. It's not becoming, like, mass communists. The kind of fears that you're raising is...
As a military vet, something I've constantly seen in my career is that culture is always dictated top down. If you don't moderate, then the community goes unhinged. Yes, it's something you have to maintain. Okay, it's constant work, but it's good work. It's hard work, but it's good work. Okay, yeah. If you don't participate in your own community and actually tries to, I don't know, do anything related to it, it's just like,
it's like not true.
Change, Pisco.
I've changed. How have I changed?
No,
Mantis?
your community. Relax. I said your community.
Yeah, but you were talking shit. You know what, Mantis? Do you know what you did? You tweeted at me. I fucking know it
I
now.
know what I did, Pisco. That's why I'm here. And did you get my response?
No, I didn't get a response.
Well, you should look at your fucking tweets, shouldn't you? Because I responded.
I get so many fucking ads and shit. Like, but it's just that's the kind of shit, and it's everywhere. And
dude, you can't deny that Mantis is content, okay? Mantis is objectively content. I know, like, dude, I dislike Mantis sometimes. I like Mantis, I dislike Mantis sometimes. And obviously the whole, like, tomfoolery bridge burn thing, like, really fucked, like that really fucked with my perception of Mantis and Tom. But, like, the thing is that, like, basically, if you don't know, Tom basically smack-talked me on stream at some point, at the peak of Thompson arc, or whatever the fuck. And I confronted Tom, and we had a falling out, so... That's what happened.
And I do resent it. And so, yeah, when I started that debate, I was angry as fuck. But, you know, it's because of, I feel like it's been a nonstop attack. You know, Dan is talking to Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein is adding me saying, I'm not a real lawyer. They're saying I'm no different than Mike from PA. They're saying I don't know shit about the law. They're saying fucking, so this has been a campaign, by at least by Dan Saltman, specifically to smear me, to specifically attack me. You watch him whenever, you know, there's any...
Yo, Tanner Maxwell, thank you so much for the $20, buddy.
Martini, shaken, not stirred.
Funny meme I clipped of the Great Betrayer showing Pisco a clip today if you have time after.
Sure thing, okay? Post it in my Discord server, I'll take a look afterwards, okay? Thank you so much, I appreciate that. Thank you, okay? I have the best fans, okay? And this is the reason why, alright? These people, listen, I know that if I'm nice to my fans sometimes, and I'm selectively mean, I can maintain a good community, okay? All right? I put in work to cultivate the community that I have now, okay? I put in a lot of work, okay? Behind the scenes, all right? It's all on purpose. So yes, again, thank you so much, Tanner. I appreciate the $20. And yeah, this is why I love my community.
Controversy involving me. You guys talked about me for like 3 or 4 weeks straight, talking shit about my takes there. And so there's a direct causal role in how much I was covering the Ethan Klein and Hassan story based on the unhinged response. of someone who lies about me, mischaracterizes me, and I think that you feed into it and you play into it, and I think that you have a causal role as well. I think your audience does too.
I feel like you should watch, and I understand the temptation to, especially when you've got like actual fucking subhuman retards like Queeman feeding you fucking lines and shit in chat or in Discord. You should watch some of the videos sometimes. Like Dan is unhinged. Dan does have an unhinged participation in a lot of this shit. Generally, when Dan is like going in on people, I'm usually telling Dan most of the time, like, bro, this is like kind of unhinged, or this is kind of fucking retarded. I think when you give a retarded take, I'll say it's a retarded take. When you give a good take, I'll say you give a good take. But yeah, there's obviously shit I disagreed with on your hyperfixation on the lawsuit shit. But also, like, you can't pretend that you don't also feed into it too. Like when Hassan comes out and says, like, okay, guys, I lied about my whole timeline, and then your next stream is like 100% vindication, completely.
But you know like, why that is. But it's not because of the lie there, because it has to do with the timing of the global gentrification. So and where you agree with me, that's what's so fucking crazy. Like we disagree on the interpretation. I'm and no one can say it's bad faith because I'm in my own Discord having these long legal discussions with members of my own community.
Pisco. As a viewer, just a viewer, okay, so separate from like all the spite-driven like Dan stuff and all that, but just as a viewer of all communities, all of both of yours, Destiny and Pisco, like Pisco, you have to understand how it came across as a viewer of yours, where all of a sudden you've defended Hassan on the plane thing, like, and you really went pretty arrogantly hard on that, like,
and still do.
Yeah, see, look, yeah, your vindication lap, rah.
No, it's still my position.
Okay, I know. Just listen. Then you went after Ethan for the lawsuit thing. You kind of, like, you don't want to call it this, but there was a little semi-ganging up on Hutch with, like, the Vanguard. Then you kind of do talk about Dems sucking more than liberals or moderates would, I think.
What?
And I think you're very clear that you're willing to say that. You just said it in this call that you do think that Dems suck right now. You do think
the leadership, the way the leadership,
and then no one. Yeah, but the thing you don't understand is most reasonable people don't actually think you're a socialist or don't actually think that you're like anti-democratic or anti-dem. It just helps. All of this like helps with that like shitty optics narrative. It just all looks bad in sequential order. It just does, and it looks like, even bad me, because I've been annoyed by it.
It looks bad. I think when people.
Yeah, honestly, Lynn is my version of Mantis. Okay, well, not in the sense of like dating her. But I'm just saying, like, they have the same personality, all right, just in different communities, okay?
People don't take it the full context of what I'm saying. Like another example of it was when we were going over the fucking re-education camps, and it was so clear what I was doing there. It was so clear that what I was dealing with was someone saying explicitly, this says that he's in favor of re-education camps, when it says the direct opposite. When I'm literally saying, give me the best evidence, show me where he's saying Marxist-Leninist, where it is, like, because it could be the case that other things inform.
Haha, just kidding. Okay, all right. I'm going to spell it out for you. I am going to openly reject you, okay? I openly reject dating you, okay? No, I don't want to date you. But you're a great mod, okay? But thank you.
This conclusion, notwithstanding the fact that I'm making specific carve-outs and saying, I'm only talking about the four. Can we agree this doesn't literally say this? Notwithstanding that fact, notwithstanding the fact that the moment that people provided clips to me that say that where he says, I'm a Marxist-Leninist, I said, yes, Marxist-Leninist, happy to grant it. When I specifically asked for it, I have 100-long comment threads saying, you know, look at him. He's a Tankie. And you too, Mantis. You said that as well, based on that specific stream.
Can I tell you why, after that conversation in particular, I was like, oh, holy shit. And you can say it's stupid if you want to say it's stupid. But, like, because those of us who have watched a ton of Hassan's bullshit, you were taking his...
I came as a non-GGG person. I like Pisco and didn't care much about Destiny. Pisco's take definitely made me pause a few times to the outsider. Oh, okay.
Words, literally.
No.
Like, oh, he didn't literally...
Dude, stop, dude. The shipping thing. Oh, no. It's because I encouraged the culture. I knew it. Culture really does come top down. I need to stop making these jokes.
Say this, he didn't literally say that. It just comes across super autistic when you can't take someone in there.
Well, maybe I'm a little autistic.
Devious in their actions and devious and puts masks on and takes them off. We already had this conversation, And you kind of agreed with me that he does do that. So if you're capable of understanding that he does do this thing, but then when you get into a conversation with someone who's providing you with all the best evidence they can because he's a sneaky motherfucker, and then you say, oh, well,
but
literally he's not really saying this thing, I think you're kind of being a little obtuse.
No,
right?
but I'm just trying to understand and clarify the term, because I am a little bit like I am on this linearization kick, because I do think it's helpful to how it reflects how I think, and that's just how I approach these issues, because that's who I am. But I have no problem acknowledging, as I've often done, that there's a broader context here. But even just put that aside, man. Like, this whole thing just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and so many assumptions I've never seen. Like I'm not saying other people don't get it, but yeah, and I'm not trying to like play victim. I'm just trying to get you like in my head, paint you a picture, like why I'm.
He's someone who just lurks and sees us at a very surface level. It just feels like Pisco is just trying to secure the bag, and I wouldn't really fault him for it. No, I don't think it's the bag. I really don't think it's the bag. Okay, unless, dude, people are more susceptible. Okay, I think this is just one thing that I think people just need to begin to understand as well, right? I think people are more susceptible to ego and crashing out than it is to money. I really do think so. Because otherwise, why would anyone crash out, right? If all they cared about was money, why would anyone crash out, right? And I'm not saying it's you specifically, right? Like you're not, you know, there's nothing wrong with you for assuming that Pisco just wants the bag or something like that, right? But I think that why does anyone become a lookout? Why does anyone become I don't know, someone who crashes out, right? Why are they working against their own interests, right? Well, it's almost as if it's not about the money, right?
Pissed as fuck going into that conversation, and I think it's reasonable. I think that there's lies being told. I think that there's.
Listen, if there's anything more powerful than money, it's a man's ego. Okay, that's what it is. That's the only thing more powerful than money.
Malice, and I think it's unfortunate. And now the prescription is like, I don't even know what it is.
Well, here, hold on. I'm curious. Okay, before I go to bed, what do you think I'm like acting in malice for? What's like your top one or two things you're like, there's no way you could legitimately believe this thing?
I think that there's no way that you could think that specific point when we're talking about, just example from our conversation, we're talking about Marxist-Leninism, when you must know that I know that Aaron is a communist. You must know that we're like having a conversation specifically about these nuances and application.
You acknowledge that this point of contention spawned off from you demanding in the middle of a debate for me to produce video evidence of the beliefs of somebody on your show.
No, that's a lie. No, I said specifically, and you can, and anyone can just go back and hear it. You can just listen to it. I said, tell me the thing she told you. Tell me the thing it is that is. I didn't say specifically bring the clip. And the reason is because you brought up Aaron there, and you brought up Aaron.
It's okay, Rat. I know it can't be you, okay? Because you're just a boyo, okay? You're just a boy. Precious boy. You're just a boyo.
Wait. Tell me the thing you told her. How is that not asking? Like, okay, I'm sorry. My bad. You didn't ask me for a video. You asked me for a specific quote?